day everyone and welcome back to Tiny Glade. Today we're doing another tiny daily build here and it's the Druid's Grove. That's today's theme here. At first when I saw this I thought, this is going to be a little bit too simplistic, isn't it? And then I started thinking about it and I was like, no, there's actually a lot we can do with this here. And they've actually given us a really good start. This is a lot of what I had in mind here already. They've already done, they've given us a great starting point here with this. So yeah, the whole plan here is we're gonna focus on not placing a lot of buildings. It's gonna be less about placing buildings and more so about landscaping. So we're gonna put in like a water feature somewhere. We're gonna put in, I'm gonna try and do something like Stonehenge somewhere. I'm gonna try and put Stonehenge somewhere, something like that. So put some kind of like some ruins and stuff that the Druid might be using. And our goal is just to try and use as much of this space here to create basically what today, if you were to be going down it, you'd think like, oh, this is a great walking trail. So the first thing that comes to mind though is we gotta place the Druid's hut somewhere. And I really don't want to mess with this starting bit here. I kind of want to keep this just the way it is. This bit right here, we're going to keep exactly as it is. So instead, what I think we're going to do is the Druid's hut is going to maybe go right in here. Okay, so after looking it over, I decided that we're going to place the Druid's hut right here because the Druid wants to live particularly close to this tree. I always like to create kind of a little story when I'm playing this game here and doing a build. And so in my mind, this right here is the Druid's hut. He is the keeper of this forest and stuff. And while he's not really supposed to have a favorite tree per se, he sees this as kind of like the mother tree and stuff, and how this is the central tree to the forest, and stuff. So he serves as kind of like the protector of the tree from people and stuff. So he's kind of like this defender of the forest from people, and in turn, the forest gives him everything he needs. So that's kind of how he sees the world and stuff. And so I feel like this house might be a little bit opulent for our Druid here, but I think we're going to have to change... let's see here. Can we get... This is where I'd kind of like to have an option to not have these roofs be tiled like that. I'd kind of like the roofs to be more thatched here, but I think the green roof there like that, that's pretty good. At the same time, though, this plaster, it doesn't feel quite right. It looks nice, but I think he'd be living in a stone structure. Would it be wood and stone like this? Actually, no. He'd probably try and avoid wood as much as possible. He'd probably just build it out of stone. Let's find a nice stone for it. I'm kind of leaning towards this, but I don't want it to appear too dark. Yeah, that might be a bit dark, so let's just go with the lighter one here. Yeah, that seems to fit the area better, and it really brings out the color of the roof there. Alright, so the last thing we need to do here is we just need to add a little fireplace, because, well, even the keeper of the forest needs to keep warm during the winter, so he'll have a forest, but he only collects the wood that the trees have already dropped. So we'll place that there. And we want to raise it up here just a touch. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think he has two fireplaces, although that did look nice. This is always kind of the struggle there, is grabbing this point right here. Okay. Turns out I forget that you can actually grab the point. You don't have to drag the arrow. You can drag the point. Okay, there we go. So yeah, the Druid's house is done. We're done with the Druid's house. Now we gotta build kind of like his garden, his glade, his forest that he watches over. So the real trouble is going to be figuring out where we want to put some lakes. I don't think we're going to have a big lake. We're going to have like a couple lakes. Okay, so what I've done is I've placed some paths that kind of just, they kind of loop around in bits and stuff. So we have a path like right in here. I'm going to have to trim some of the trees just to make it visible and stuff, but we'll replant more trees because, this is all about this Druid protecting this forest here and stuff. And so... I'm also adding some water features at points, you know, like this one. This is probably going to be the biggest one right here. Yeah, we'll keep those ones there. That one's fine there. We'll still have to replant. There we go. That looks good. But yeah, so the whole idea is that this druid, you know, he's lived in this forest. He knows these paths very well. He walks them every day, making sure everything is okay in the forest. Tiny little glade. What do you know? It's the name of the game. But yeah, he's got these paths that he walks every day, making sure everything is well. Over in here is where we're going to have a little bit of a fun build. So this bit here, actually we need that there. Yeah, this road's a little bit in need of some more work here. So yeah, it's largely trying to make these roads, you know, nice and curved, but also almost like tree branches. These are like the roots of the forest in a way. Oh, I still haven't set the tree. That tree did not need to go. Poor tree. We'll replant. There we go. So yeah, there's just these pathways that branch off from one another and connect up. This one here is kind of an important one. Hang on. Oops. That's not right. There we go. But yeah, it's this one here that's kind of important because this is actually where he gets his drinking water from. There we go. So yeah, let's turn our attention to our Stonehenge-like structure. If I can, I might place a tree in the middle of it, kind of like the tree on the mound. I like the tree on the mound. Otherwise, I would have placed like the Stonehenge structure on top of this mound, but I really don't want to, you know, mess with the mound. I really don't want to. I like kind of the mound as is and stuff. If I did mess with it, I'd make it a little bit bigger, and we'd, you know, extend it up there just to fit, you know, our Stonehenge. But yeah, we're gonna place some more trees in here for sure. We're gonna have to trim some trees here. I'm wondering if I gave myself enough space in here for what I want to do. So what we're gonna do to build our Stonehenge, we're just gonna use the free building wall tool here. We're going to kind of we're gonna try and make like a circle around it. Ideally, we'd use a significant number. So if we do this, we'd have 8. And I'm not necessarily happy with the size of these and the shape yet. Ooh, that's a little long. So yeah, it's gonna take a little work, but let's try and get a pretty, you know, a number of some importance there. Like 12 would be a good number, 7, but I think 12 is the number we want to shoot for here. So let's see what we can do. 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Yep, we got 12. All right, there we go. I can count. So what I might do, let's find a tree that I like. I kind of really like this tree right here. And we're gonna set it in kind of the center here. Best we can. We're centered this way. Now we just got center. That's pretty good. All right. And we're gonna have to adjust our stones here to the heights we want. But I'm gonna move some trees about here. It's really hard to see things here. There's like a tree. What tree is this? Is this all this big tree here? I don't know. There it is. There's the node for the tree. Yeah, we want to get some space there. This is where it would be neat to be able to place some bushes as well. Maybe we won't have this tree. We kind of need this tree right here. I kind of want it somewhat blocked from view that way. I know I'm not going to be able to accomplish much with that. It's just kind of a tiny area that we're working with here. Also, how circular is this? It's a little too oval-like. We need to move this stuff in this way, just a touch. Also adjust the way they're facing and stuff. So let's bring you here. This one's a little bit wide, in fact. So let's do that. So yeah, we're just going to adjust our standing stones pretty much here. Let's do this one. Ooh. Okay, so this one I drew much longer than what I wanted to. Let's... That can't... And then we'll just get rid of that. There we go. Alright, oh, well, that's not quite right, but we can live with it. No, I was hoping to keep the vine. Oh, not what I want. Alright, there we go. We got a vine on it. Perfect. I like the idea of these being vine covered. And this one here, I think, also has to be just kind of brought in a little bit here. These stones here are a little bit on the narrow side. We need to make it a little bit wider. There we go. We're going to change the color of these. These are going to be some really dark old stones. Alright, how's that looking circular-wise? I'm liking it better. We still got to do some resizing here of the stones. Maybe we'll have major and minor stones. I don't know. Don't really like that idea too much. I kind of want them all to be somewhat... Each stone has some kind of significant purpose behind it. All equally important. Now, one thing I did consider is I could have drawn, you know, a circle. Really, what I could have done is I could have just placed down a structure like this, right? And then have just drawn roads in there, and that would have created these arches. And I could have just created, like, you know, had it where there was like 12 pillars to it. I could have done that. But then I'd have all these roads here, and you know, well, I don't know, I might still do that, because I didn't want it to be too trodden, this ground. I wanted this ground to be somewhat preserved and pristine and stuff. But for now, let's go through and let's start changing them. I specifically think we're gonna go for like the darker stone here. Although that one's pretty good as well. Let's not go for too dark here. Let's go for this darker, this mid-dark color. Yeah, that will look good with the vines. Okay, I'm pretty happy with my placement of the stone. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna place a tower here. We're gonna just immediately squat this thing down. We're gonna really bring it down there. We're gonna place this kind of like in the center of it, like so. And we lower it. All right, so this is as far down as we're gonna be able to go with it. But I think visually it still works for what I have intended. Let's now, oh, that was the problem. I didn't have that all the way down there. Alright, there we go. That'll have to do. So, what I might do, I'm kind of making this up this bit as I go. How does that look? That looks pretty good. So what I might do... We might actually have another tower here, but it's going to be just really small. It's going to be very, very odd in a sense. It's going to be this really small bit like that. We want to raise it up here just like so. Okay, yeah, that kind of works. Ooh, wow, we get 5 with this one. That's significant there. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. We can work with that. Here's where I wish I could rotate this thing. And we'll raise it up there just like that. We want to do it flat. Yeah, let's do it like that. That looks pretty good right there, just like that. Okay, I'm liking that. That looks nice. That is kind of what I'm going for there. Now we will maybe need like a pathway leading to it. Let's do it here. This is a good spot. I'm not gonna disturb much. A nice narrow pathway with a stairwell there. That. Okay, I like that. I like that. That's what I was aiming for there. So yeah, just a few more projects like stuff like that, and this is going to be pretty good to go. So one thing I haven't really used a lot of in the game so far is placing flowers and stuff. And I figured now is a good time to do that. Let's place some flowers in this area. This is a really, you know, flowered area. So this is kind of just a nice little flowered garden area. So how does that look, you know, from this perspective here? Alright, yeah, this looks pretty nice. This looks pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with that. In fact, I might extend some of it over in here as well. Up there. There we go. Yep, nice flowery bit here. Because apparently the druid eats flowers, everyone. He eats flowers, I guess. So, it's starting to feel like there's not a single tree I haven't moved or adjusted in some way to help create this. And I feel like I'm spending a heck of a lot of time on a build that actually doesn't involve much building. That's kind of the funny thing. I mean, I've only placed down a couple actual physical structures. It's all about just, you know, moving trees and getting the water the way I want it and stuff. And it's actually rather funny. To the extent that I actually, well, in the process of this, discovered that, hey, I had laid down a pathway. Where was it? Was it in here? No, it was this path right here. I didn't even know I had this path here. Because it was just so overgrown with the trees. So, you know, it constantly feels like there's a big tree where I don't want a big tree, and there's a skinny tree where I could use a big tree. So, you know, it's just, you know, constant adjusting of things. But I think we're starting to get there. There is an entire section though where I haven't fully decided what's going in there yet, but we're getting close there. I think I've got an idea for it. So we're just gonna, we don't want to infringe on the hill, but we want these trees. There's a lot of trees that it's just extremely dense, and that's not very realistic at all. The trees would just not be able to survive with such density there. So we are having to make some minor adjustments for things like that. Overall, though, the whole goal is to just, you know, create this beautiful kind of like walking path that this druid pretty much gets to walk every single day. Okay, I think we've done it, everyone. So here is our druid's home inside this forest. It's got this beautiful tree that it, you know, likes to look out on. For some reason, this druid particularly likes this tree on this mound here. There's pathways leading throughout the druid's forest here. There's different little things to see, so let's take a nice close look at it. Well, I think it turned out about how I wanted it to. There's a few things that as I was doing this, I found myself saying, wow, I wish there was this in the game so I could do this. And, there's a few things that, once again, little details I'd like to control. But a prompt like this, it's really supposed to rely on nature and stuff, not building a, massive city or a town or anything like that. So it's all about controlling and manipulating nature here to achieve the goal of the prompt there. So I feel like I did pretty well with keeping in the spirit of the prompt, and I'm quite happy with what came out. I mean, I really like how they started us off here with this hill, with this big tree on it and stuff. I mean, honestly, with the way the sun's shining on it, that looks like a very relaxing place to just lay down, enjoy a nice cool breeze as, the summer sun, shines on you, creating this nice balance. Hearing the birds, it's, the water in the distance and so on and so forth. It seems like a very relaxing place. I almost wish we still had screensavers, just so I could have this as my screensaver. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, hit the like button and consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. And yeah, we'll keep doing these tiny builds. Hopefully the next one, though, involves a little bit more constructive, not just, placing, trees and moving them around to create this natural effect. But this was refreshing. It was nice to do a nature-based build. And I think it turned out pretty well. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Have a great day, everyone.